host, Steve Belcher. Share this broadcast. Share this broadcast. This is like the 60 minutes of kidney news, right? This is like, you know, how the 60 minutes on CBS come on. This is the 60 minutes of kidney news. So share this broadcast. Thank you for watching wherever you're watching. Thank you to our global audience. If you're watching from overseas, God bless you. And God bless you to our viewers that are watching from the United States. Now, tonight, we're going to talk about fraud, waste, staff shortages, whistleblowers, and the list could go on and on. Now, have you seen people who go to outpatient dialysis? We know you value your health and want to make sure that you get the right treatment. But you may not have been aware of news articles like this. DaVita dialysis manager harassed female workers, hid camera in restroom, yet owners did nothing. You may not have seen these. 39 DaVita employees suing for unpaid wages and overtime. I can contest to that as an ex-DaVita employee. Or this. Fed settled huge whistleblower suit over Medicare Advantage fraud. Or what about this one that I want to talk about? Top kidney charity directed aid to patients at DaVita and Fresenius's lawsuit claim. They're talking about the American Kidney Fund. And I'll talk about that, how they denied money to people who came from smaller organizations, warriors, but yet warriors who came from DaVita and Fresenius, they gave them money. So we're going to talk about that. And again, DaVita Healthcare Partners facing 7 lawsuits over unpaid overtime claims. Now, would you want to go to a facility plagued with that much controversy? Wouldn't you be concerned who's working on you? We're going to get to that. But tonight, joining me live on World Kidney News, 11-year veteran, Sherwood Woody Mitchell, live from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And I must say, that's where my cousin Herman Thompson lives. So without further ado, the third time back on, let's give it up for my man, Woody, or Sherwood Woody Mitchell. Hey, Woody, what's going on?
Hey, not much, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
I see your show's really grown since the last time I've been on.
I know, man. We trying to do something.
I hear you, bro. That's all you can do is keep trying.
Yeah, that's all I can do, man. Keep pushing. And I'm going to keep pushing to the point where there's going to be a media network. First, I'm going to work on the kidney disease community, build like their own network, and ESPN is going to be a health network like that. But we first going to take care of our own warriors, a place where they could come to and look at PSAs, Health Channel, cooking shows, inspirational music. And then maybe we can upload some of your music if you got it on YouTube, your show. So we're trying to do a lot for the kidney community, something that we feel needs to be done. Now, let me ask you, 11 years on dialysis, so that puts you somewhere about 2009 when you started.
Yeah, at the end, right after Thanksgiving.
Right.
I,
So let me ask you, have you ever seen anything like what we're doing um, on social media since being on dialysis back in 2009?
no, you actually are one of the leaders of this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you first started, you was talking to me about it. I talked about you. I always talk about you on the show. Always on my mix joints. I got the drop you sent me. I always wear the shirt. Always talk about it. Um, I talk to anybody that listen to me, about being on dialysis. It's rough, you know.
Right.
And then you got the staff that do take care of it, especially since the virus. Like we had to go through extra precautions, extra things, and I think we only got 3 techs, and they've been working forever. I mean, they've been working a lot. I give my hats off to them.
Wait a
So I
minute.
know,
You saying that you have 3 technicians where you
I
go
mean,
that works a lot?
yeah, it was 5, then it dwindled down to 3, and they're the main ones. And we got like 3 nurses, and one's the lead nurse, but they can't get nobody hired.
Let me
And
ask you, what's the size of your clinic up in Harrisburg?
well, we're one of many actually. It's like a DeVita around the corner from us. There's one down the street, and I'm on the West Shore. So actually in Harrisburg, it's like 6 or 7 just around there. Harrisburg's only like 70,000 people. So I can imagine how Pittsburgh, Philly, Baltimore, DC, how many clinics is. So it's like 3 clinics within a mile of the clinic that I'm at. You know,
Wow. Now, how many seats do your facility have?
I think about 17 or 18. I'm
Okay,
not one. I think somewhere along that line. Maybe a
17,
little bit
right.
more. I'll say 15 to be safe. A little bit less, a little bit more, because we have an isolation room. Then we have a education area too, and an area for people that learn how to train with PD also there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
in another. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
let me ask you, Woody, you've been on for 11 years. What's your biggest concern now going to dialysis in an outpatient clinic?
Besides the coronavirus,
Yes.
um, just the lack of staffing. I found out from being at sister clinics that they have that um when you have staffing low and they work a lot, you have the same staff that works the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They burn out, but they're human. They have families, they have things they have to do. Even like some of these managers are burning out because they have to work to help cover to keep everything going well, which affects care to me eventually, personally. It affects care because how you going to take care of it if your people are burnt out? That's just common sense.
Right. Well, I mean, if this is happening at your facility, I can imagine that this is happening across the United States.
It's happening. It has to be happening all over. I mean, every clinic I've been to around Harrisburg, and I've been to 4 different clinics, and no, 3 different clinics, and it's the same issue. The common denominator is the same issue in every clinic, and the common denominator for that problem is because they're not being paid, which I can't understand because they make a lot of money, you know. So why ain't
Right.
that money trickling down to the employees, the frontline people that's out there working, and you can come off the street and become a tech because they train you. You get more of your experience, but you can come. I mean, you're making more at Target and McDonald's and sheets.
Yeah, I want to speak on that. But one thing I wanted to point to the audience that's watching, just to let them know how this is a racket. Okay. I'm about to just read an excerpt from article from the New York Times. It says top kidney charity directed aid to patients at DaVita and Fresenius Clinic lawsuit claims. And basically, a whistleblower said the leading charity, which is American Kidney Fund, favored patients from the major dialysis chains because the companies were its biggest donors. Now, he goes on to say one of the nation's largest public charities steered financial aid to patients of its two biggest corporate donors, the dialysis chains DaVita and Fresenius, while denying help to warriors who use smaller, unrelated clinics in violations of anti-kickback laws, according to a federal whistleblower lawsuit unsealed this week in Boston. Now, that was August 2, 2019. I don't know what was the resolution of that case, but it just shows you how time after time you have things like this go on at the patient's expense. Now, Woody, you're right. These companies make millions of dollars, and you would think they would pay their employees some good money for doing what they was doing. Now that I don't work for them anymore, I would share what I got paid as a nurse and with DaVita. So they tried to hit me with 36, but at the end of the day, I got 40. I was able to squeeze $40 an hour from them. But you damn sure better know that they made me work every single bit to get that 40 an hour. Okay? If that meant doing charge and having two patients and being charge nurse of a 29, 30 chair unit, that's what it took. And I fell for that mumbo jumbo. But I needed work at the time, But yeah, so they don't pay like they should. And a lot of...
I want to cut you off. I want to ask you one question. How much was your tax getting, though?
Well, the tax, they get somewhere starting off, depending where you're at. Man, it could be $10 starting off. If you got experience, it could be 13, 14, 15. Some places you can scratch out 20. It just depends. If you're at a private place, like at the nursing home, I know a company that will pay the experienced tech somewhere around $20, $21 an hour. But the workload is much different working in a nursing home dialysis facility. The patient and the acuity level is much different than working with chronic stable patients at an outpatient unit. So yes, at an outpatient unit, they would take someone from the street. I mean, I hate to say it like that, not like the old days where you had people who had medical experience and they commanded maybe $13, $14 right off the start and had room for growth. Now you come in, they'll start you off $10, $10.50 an hour. And another thing, as like with the whistleblowers, with the lawsuit here, with the OT.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Is that it right there? Yeah, they try to get over on you with that, and how that works is no more 40 hours. You know, where it used to be you work 40 hours a week, and anything over 40, you get time and a half.
Right.
Now they got slick. Their full time is 36 hours now. So, you know, they got it, you know, to a science now where they have you punch out early. You know, in some places you can hit them if they hurting and they ain't got staff. You can, you know, you can work the hours and command some money. But for the most part, they're like Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, how you get quality care if you're burning out the people who's doing it. Now, you as a nurse, you made out decent, but think about how the techs are making out.
No, yeah, but I paid the price, brother. What I mean by that, I was on my feet. I was on my feet 16 hours, and I sat down maybe at a total an hour, hour and a half out of those 15, 16-hour days because I had, you got 30 patients and I had 15 and another nurse had 15. So I was responsible for all the assessments of 15 patients, the medication administration, anything that went wrong. If the catheter went wrong and the tech couldn't resolve it, they called me. If the patient had an issue, they called me. And they called me. I mean, I don't mean to exaggerate on this, but each time I stepped on that clinic floor, I had no time to myself because everybody called, even the patients on the other nurse, because they didn't like the nurse that they had. They didn't trust her and they knew me. I didn't have no time to myself, man. And when I went home at night after 16 hours, my girlfriend at the time, she would tell you, I had to decompress. I mean, I had to really decompress and be alone because I wanted time to myself, something that I didn't have when I worked at the dialysis clinics. And not that I didn't mind giving my time to patients and helping, but it was very mentally draining at the end of the day. I'm not going to lie.
Oh yeah, I understand it because at my clinic, I'm fortunate because the head nurse at my clinic, I met her when she wasn't a head nurse at another clinic. And so we talk all the time. And I know you're paying what you're saying. And I see what she goes through. And I understand that totally. But I'm also just thinking about the techs too because they're at a lower level than the nurse. And right now, they're the ones on the front line just as much as the nurses are.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. Let me just share this. Like when you go on the machine, right, and the tech putting you on, if they infiltrate you or they have an issue with your arm, who do they call?
Oh yeah,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then I got to come and resolve that issue. I mean, you have some people, you know, somebody messed their arm up, they going ham. They're going to go ham, you know, and you got to kind of resolve that situation and kind of de-escalate that situation, because when somebody arm, you know, is blowing up like a golf ball or a grapefruit and it's pain, they don't want to hear that, man. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know. I understand that part.
But totally. Again, right, and I don't mean to cut you off, but you're right about the technicians. And I mean, they got a business model, and I don't think they're going to go outside that business model of, you know, 10 weeks training, starting them off at this amount, because that's the biggest amount of liability is supplies and your workers. That's going to be the two biggest um, expenses.
See, I understand that part because I was a manager in restaurant business for over 20 years. I understand about the labor, supplies, and all that stuff. But I'm just saying, with the amount of money that's being charged for that by insurance and the subsidies that the government does provide for dialysis centers, I feel that techs should be paid a little bit more. Nurses should be paid a little bit more. Overall, I mean, it's just that you have nurses and techs that run these centers that say there's maybe 30, anywhere from 30 to 15 to 30 chairs. And they flip over on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They used to 3 times. Now I think they're down to 2. A lot of places cut down nocturnal, so they don't want to pay people at night for being in centers where nocturnal is better for your body overall if you dial.
Right.
Because like you being a nurse, you understand it's numbers. It's like, your human body takes naturally 24 hours to clean your kidneys. It takes 24 hours for your body to naturally clean your kidneys completely if you're a normal human person. You're on a machine for 3 hours, 4 hours. I was doing it 7 and 8 hours on nocturnal. And that's what saved my life. The 3 and 4 hours was killing me because of the density of my body. It wasn't cleaning me right. And you have these people that work all these hours. It's the same people, and no backup staff. If they get sick, you got a person that's working from the day shift to the night shift, but all this. It just wears on them. And especially with the virus, now they're doing more work to keep the clinic at a certain standard.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? A lot of the techs, and even myself when I work, they chose to work that shift. I mean, they don't put a gun to their head. They work like 3 and 4 places. And I've did it myself. Worked other places because of the money. Or maybe one job wasn't paying enough. And you had, like you were saying, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I bet you maybe Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, they may be working somewhere else for another company.
No, but a lot of clinics, though, excuse me a second. A lot of clinics run 3 different shifts. They may run, they'll empty, they'll set the clinic up at 5. I mean, the schedule. Set the clinic at 5, get the people in, they're out by 10 or 11. They run another shift that may run till 3 or 4. Then they run an evening shift. People it'll be at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, but it'll be the same tech. And some places had extra tech where they cycled out morning and day. Some don't. I'm just saying it's a real shortage because you can go work at Target for the same price as to get a tech now. I mean, they make more money. So what are you going to do? You going to be about chase people? I mean, not chasers, but put us on the machine, look out for us, have the liability, or go to Target and stock shelves and be a cashier. You're making more money doing that than helping people save their lives.
Let me ask you: have you seen the quality of care go down?
No, our quality of care, unfortunately, is not going down. But I see the burnout in the employees, which means eventually, little things, but not major things, but eventually that's going to get worse. It's like a snowball rolling down the hill. Eventually it's going to get worse if people, people have things in their life going on. They got kids. A lot of these workers got kids. They got families. They're going through things too. If they're the same ones working over and over and not able to do other things with their family or other stuff, and they're just there working because they don't have enough staff and they're trying to cover to keep the quality of care up, eventually the quality of care is going to go down.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What do you suggest? Because I want to tell you now, with the proliferation and escalation of these kidney treatment centers around the country, they're not going to be able to keep up the demand as far as the labor. And And so,
Well,
what do you suggest in hiring more people to work in this field? But not just hire them, but people that have empathy, compassion, can and pretty much relate, and in this type of field.
well, you're the nurse educator. Train, train. Anybody that knows the knowledge of the business of dialysis, train. You train
Yeah,
them.
yeah, it's so regulated now. It's not even funny, but I understand. Um, you train, you got to charge. Some people are not at that point where they could pay for training. So what happens, how DaVita and Fresenius, how they get by with this is because they train, and that's how they're able to pay low, because they give you the free training, and they know, which a lot of people used to do, including myself, in the beginning of time. What happens, somebody will go and get trained by Fresenius.
And make money at DaVita.
Exactly. They'll get trained and work for a minute and then quit and go to DaVita and get more money. It's like a back and forth thing. So how do you curb that? And the only way you pretty much do it is get the companies to open up their wallets. And when you had these companies making billions, not millions, but billions of dollars, they got that scale, man. And I just don't know how we can do that.
That's where us as patients come in, because instead of going to find out the find out who's your regional manager for your center. Stop, talk to your head nurse, or find out who's their boss. Then you go to their boss and you start complaining, because if patients start complaining about the quality of care, and don't be scared, because a lot of these techs are scared. They're not union. This is not union work, and they can get rid of you. And I know it's going, you know, to break some glass, or how you say, bull in a china shop. But us as patients, I tell everybody I meet that do dialysis, you are your best advocate. If you don't advocate for yourself, you see stuff going on, you don't like it, talk to the person, be respectful, go up the chain, and that's what we all have to do, because the government pays, subsidize these centers. The government takes care of this. President Nixon signed this into effect in 1972. He may have done Watergate, he done a lot of wrong things, but one thing he did was sign this bill for dialysis centers. That's why people can get on dialysis so easy, because before 72, you was in front of a panel and they decided if you were strong enough or had the money or whatever to get dialysis. So the government is giving them the money. So if we complain as tax-paying citizens that's on dialysis, yo, my care ain't right. Something ain't right in my center. They don't got enough people. They ain't making enough money. One person do it, is blown under the rug. But 31 million of us out here doing dialysis every day. It's the ninth leading cause of death. Maybe 10 because Corona now, not, but us, Steve, us, you, me, all my dialysis friends, all the ones on Facebook that complain about the center, what's going on, yo, y'all the ones.
Right. I want to send a shout out to Aya. What you cook good tonight, Aya? Oh man. But you're right. You're absolutely right, Woody. And the only thing, what may help I can think of is possibly maybe you putting together a petition.
Okay.
on change.org. I got a petition now. I'm waiting to hit 5,000. And then I'm going to go public news conference and holding these companies accountable for kidney disease awareness in urban communities across the nation. The same communities where they serve, like you said, you got what, 3-4 clinics within miles. Let me ask you, are there any billboards or any type of preventive ads or anything in the area that says kidney disease is the 9th leading cause, or talk about diabetes or hypertension? Any promotion or PSA?
No, Steve, there's nothing going on like that. That's one reason I turned to you, because trying to figure it out. Because you check things out on like on TV, like when it's not. And before I say this, nothing against anybody else is going through a disease or something like that. Just making an observation. Like when it's breast care, breast cancer month, or autism, or you see all kind of ads, mental health, kidney month. I ain't see no ads. I ain't see nothing. I see a story here and there about somebody getting a kidney or a transplant if they're famous, or like a local person here or there that really of a story. But overall, there's no ads, there's no public service, no prevention. And basically, when you at dialysis, you're at the end of the road as far as preventing stuff. You at where the tunnel is, the train's at the end of the station, and you're on a whole different journey. The preventive stuff comes all before it. And if you don't get the preventive stuff put into your mind and your head early, you deal with the high blood pressure for a while. You deal with the heart disease for a little bit, and things. It's like the silent killer. It's like Jason and Freddy in the middle of the night sneaking up on you.
Right.
You be good. You be good one day, and then next you be like, okay, well, I'm not so good. And then, like with me, man, Thanksgiving 11 years ago, after I got done feeding like 1,500 people at the Hilton in Harrisburg, I went away for the weekend to chill. I went back to work, man, that Wednesday morning. Felt like my heart was drowning. I couldn't breathe. I had to I called off work, matter of fact, that Wednesday morning. Started having heart attack, and here both of my kidneys was gone. And you just go straight to getting the port, start doing dialysis life. You don't get no warning. You don't get no
emergency treatment.
Nah, you go straight to start doing your dialysis, and your life is different. And I know a lot of people know what I'm talking about because they ignored the sign. I ignored the sign for a minute.
Let me ask you a question. You've been on dialysis 11 years. Now, just in your opinion, if you were, I'm just saying, I know you go to you don't go to a DaVita, you don't have to say where you go, but if you was going to a DaVita and you just started dialysis and you happen to see stuff like this, DaVita dialysis manager harass female workers, hid camera in restroom, or you seen this 39 DaVita employees suing for, or something like this. If you constantly saw that about a company that you were getting your treatment at, would that cause for concerns for you as a patient of that company?
Yeah, I'd be ready to go someplace else. I'd be petrified. I get anxiety about going up to get the treatment, going to get treatment now, especially when they were sticking me. Because right now I'm back to a catheter. So I can imagine if I see something going on wrong, I sit back, I'll watch everything. At my clinic, I'm already known as a troublemaker because I'm gonna say something if something is not right. It's just how I am. I'll say something. I may put in a joke or something like that. If it's real, real serious, I'll say something to the manager about it. I don't play with it. It's my life. I mean, it don't make me better. It sustains you. Dialysis don't make you better. Dialysis sustains you. And you're gonna go through periods where you feel great, you feel bad, but your body is slowly being deteriorated through the treatment. There's no other way around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make. It doesn't improve you to the point where you don't need it no more because you got to stay on it all your life.
Mm-hmm.
It sustains you. It keeps you alive. It's up to you. If you eat the wrong stuff, it's going to turn you a treatment. You drink too much, it's going to turn you a treatment. Anything you do is not good for the body. And you know all this, Steve. And
And
a
let me
lot of
ask
us,
you this. I know. Let me ask you this. As a patient that been on dialysis for 11 years, I'm sure you probably been. Was that all at the same facility?
well, it's all they were all through percentages, but I went to sister clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one I'm at now is the third of the sister clinic.
So let me
And
ask you, throughout those 11 years, have you seen um, any issues in clinics that would cause for alarm to maybe make you say, what the hell is going on here?
well, one I did, I was, but that was both, combination of both, because they didn't have proper staffing. And the people that were working were getting overworked. And like I said, when you overwork people, quality goes down no matter what field you're in. If you overwork, you're not going to take the time as you would if you would, And I know a lot of people signed up for it and understand that, but when you so short of staff, when you have people working, they work 16, 17 days in a row, do you honestly think your quality of care is going to be top notch if everybody's tired and burnt out? And you think they're going to take care of the water machine the right way? You think they're going to check everything the right way continuously if they're not refreshed and ready to take care of you the best you can? I,
Yeah.
um,
Now, what is the census up there? Meaning, for one technician, how many patients does one technician have? 4 patients up in Pennsylvania, right?
I believe it's for yeah, I think it's like 4 or 5, and they if there's so many, they then when it's required to have another tech.
Right,
I don't know.
right, right.
I don't know I don't know the total ins and outs, but I listened
No,
and there's
I
some.
worked I worked in Pennsylvania before, and
Right.
through an agency, and normally they try to do
Mhm.
that team nursing where they have patients in the bay. They can have 12 patients in the bay and have 2 technicians and a nurse. Okay,
Right.
that's
So
how
the
they can
nurses,
roll. And
yeah,
and
because the
you and
nurses
what y'all
do
do,
high.
y'all work as a team. And like you said, man, when you constantly taking people off and putting them on without getting a break, there is big room for error. And this is what's going on all across the United States. Maybe not be going on in some clinics, some places like out in the suburbs, they may be fully staffed. And
Nah, let me stop you right there. The clinic I go to is in a white suburban area, bro. Okay, I go across the river to go to a different clinic. There's a clinic 3 minutes from my house that my own doctor will not let me go to.
why is
Okay,
that?
because he don't trust the quality of the care. They got decent care, but they just don't. My doctor, didn't want me because I could have went to that clinic. Because where I live at, that's why I moved here originally. Because I'm like, well, darn, I can just walk to that clinic. And they're like, no, you stay here. So I only travel like 2 miles, but the point is, I don't believe the hype about because it's in a suburban clinic versus an inner city clinic because I'm at a suburban clinic and the shortages is happening. It's just a shortage people problem, Steve.
Well,
That's
I don't
it.
know. That's probably where you're at, but here in Baltimore, D.C. area, it's a different story.
I lived in Baltimore. I went to culinary school in DC. I understand that. But all I'm saying to you is that I live in the city. Harrisburg is a city just like everybody else's city. It got its everything like every other city.
Right, but
And
much
I'm
smaller.
it's just on a smaller scale. Just because on a smaller scale don't mean it's not happening, Steve. Just
Right,
because
I know.
don't front on it now.
Right.
Don't make that mistake. Just because Harrisburg's small, don't mean that it ain't going on like it do
Sure.
Baltimore, DC, and Philly. Trust me, bro. All right.
Oh no, no,
But
I have a
that's
cousin
it.
up there, so I know.
Okay. Anyway, like I'm saying, I live I live in the inner city in Harrisburg. There's a clinic that's less than 2 blocks from my house. They won't let me go to that clinic. I go to a clinic. I drive down the road, cross the bridge. I go into the West Shore the part of Harrisburg, across the river, like another event. All I do is cross the bridge, and I'm a turn off turn exit, and I'm there. It takes me 5 minutes to get to that clinic.
But
The
technically,
thing,
you could go there if you wanted to. You know that, right?
if I pressed it, yeah, I know, I totally understand that. But because of the quality of the care I get and the rapport that I have, my doctors understand that I ain't taking no BS. I'm not listening to no stories. I know my body. I work to get to this point where they respect my word and they listen to me, you know? And that's
Mm-hmm.
years of expressing like, yo, why are you doing it? Every time I see the nurse with a needle giving me iron, I know my meds. Me, you talked about this. I stay on them. I am known as trouble in my clinic, okay? And it's
Mm-hmm.
not just because I start trouble, it's because I stay on top of stuff. And that is from everything. If they're not doing right, if the cleaning's changing up, if new people coming on, if they ain't being trained right, I watch, I pay attention. I sleep for a little bit, and then I watch what they do. That's just how I learn things because I had to learn how to handle dialysis to live better on it. So I studied it. I watch what everybody do. I read up on it. I listen to everything. I don't always make a comment, but I always take it in and see what's going
Mm-hmm.
on with it.
Let me
'Cause
ask you something. And somebody may be watching now. 11 years, uh, 3 clinics. Why not home dialysis? What's
I
stopping
did
you from home?
I did do home dialysis. I did PD. My doctor recommended it. I tried it back in 2000, the beginning of 2014. I did PD. I was doing more treatment than I was at the center, and I never did the with the hemo at home because I never had that sort support system quite for that. And when I did the PD, I didn't like it because I didn't have the total support system that I had. I have a good support system, but my support system is not built for PD. And I spent, you know how you do those manual dwells when you're on PD? Okay, now I had to do 3 of them and then be on the machine for 10 hours. So I spent 14 to 16 hours of my day every day doing dialysis where I was only doing 8 at the center because 4 and 5, 3 and 4 wasn't cleaning me. I was always going back and forth to the hospital. So I did the PD and I hated it mentally. And I don't talk about it because I don't want to deter other people because their experience may be a lot better. But I'm a number person. So if I'm on a machine for 10 hours, I'm doing 2 manual dwells at an hour and a half a pop. That's like half your day. And that's depressing. I mean, I had a thing where I can go from the room to the room all through my house because I have my
Right.
whole second floor set up that I can go from room to room, do whatever. But the quality of my life was, I was the dialysis center. breaking down the machine, breaking down the boxes, checking everything in, getting everything put away, throwing it all away because it was just me. I ain't had that support. I had support, like monetary, take me where I need to go, support like that. But as far as somebody physically helping me, that you need somebody that's gonna be in your corner for that. And that's why it didn't work for me. I like me personally, I like my dialysis life a little bit different from my home life. I like to go to the center, relax, let the professional take care of me, come home and still live my life because I still have a good quality of life. I still go and do what I want. The days I don't feel good, I just shut it down and I rest. And I keep it. I learned to just keep it moving like that because I'm not going to give up. But if I stop going, you know what happens when you stop going. So I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
do that. And I advise nobody not to stop. I advise people to find what makes you feel happy in life and pursue it, and go after it. That's one reason why I started DJing again. Because I stopped for 20 years. I did it as a kid, a little bit as a young adult. I got into the work world, but this is my this right here, doing this, that's my salvation.
What's that?
Because
Show that again.
yeah, right here, DJing, that right here, playing the music, that's my salvation. That's what keeps me strong because it keeps my mind working on the music and the mixes and all that stuff instead of thinking about the house and everything I gotta go through.
And
And that's the
speaking of that, talk about that. About your hobby. I mean, that helps you. Does that help you kind of keep your mind off of dialysis? Um,
yeah.
and this is where you DJ at, correct?
That's my buddy's station. I help him out. My brother. Um, he does this is hip hop, R&B, underground. We do live shows during the week. I do a live show on Fridays, majority of the time, 1 to 4. I got a boy named Flip. He does a show every Monday and Wednesday, 2 to 5 p.m. This is the website. Soon, Steve, the Urban Kidney Alliance link will be there for that youth who want to donate and help him out. You can go there. Also, if you want to do other stuff, check out new music, all that. We're there. We're there. We play hip hop. My shows, I try to introduce all the newest hip hop along with the old school. My other boy does jazz, independent music. Anybody that want to send me music that wants to be played, as long as it's a clean version, just send it to me at Chefwood, CHEFWOD 72 at Gmail. I'll download it. I'll check it out. I'll put it on there. Give me a little bio. I'll cover you. I just try to play music to stay happy and focused, and just keep me moving and motivated to do up everything. And
Uh-huh.
try to.
Uh-huh. What's the hours that you play?
I always put a post. I always put a post up on Facebook when I'm going to play. Like tomorrow, I'm definitely going to do a show at noon to 2. Friday, I'm going to be on 1 to 4. I have my mixes that be on the playlist. My boy T-Boy that owns the station, he's gonna have mixes on there. We're Harrisburg's best kept secret, man. We just love music. Ain't no political stuff going on. We want everybody to vote, but we just enjoy digging in the crates. That's our thing. We just some old men digging in crates. you
Right.
know, and, and
Right.
and with you, Steve, I'm just trying to link with you and just keep putting the word out, trying to get you up here to talk to some people at some different churches in Harrisburg and just spread the word about the houses and especially the thing about you do with the food and stuff like that because a lot of people don't understand what you put into your body has a big play on how your treatment goes. A lot of that processed stuff and the fast food stuff. And I mean, I'm a victim, so I eat it now and then. But I learned to eat it when it's advantageous to me, not just always eating it, and messing up my system. It tears your system up. And just trying to get more fresh food in my system and just trying to stay healthy and keep stress
Mhm.
away. That's it.
What it, let's we got several more minutes, but let's talk about you had a transplant what in 2016?
Yeah, I had a transplant. Actually September 11th, 2016. It lasted
Oh,
till
September 11th. Wow.
yeah. I got the call on the
On 9
ninth.
11.
Yeah, I got the call at 9/9, and then by the 11th, um, I got the kidney. I was up by 1 o'clock. I remember I was at University of Penn in Philly, which is a really good transplant center. Um, welcome time to see the Jets game, whoever they played that year. I was in surgery for like 11 hours because, like I said, I had a lot of inflammation. I'm very um I'm 30. I'm fit, so when I have to do a lot to get clean, and I had a lot of inflammation and stuff. So yeah, it lasted till January 9th, 2017. Unfortunately, I had a biopsy, and that kidney ended up bleeding out a couple of days later.
Mm.
And you know how they tell you it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance you get a biopsy that it will bleed out. I went back home to Harrisburg that weekend. That Monday morning, I was supposed to do a show, and thankfully, my stepdaughter was home from school. She missed the bus. I sat down, and this is the only thing I never really told the story to a lot of people. I really kind of like shut down for a while after this happened because I was at this hospital in my city for about 6 hours before they sent me back to Philly because they didn't want to touch me because Philly did the transplant. And that just really kind of bothered me because I might have been saved the kidney if they would have acted quicker. But
Sure.
that's a whole nother story and it's life and um it is what it is. So anything that it makes you stronger. So I survived that. But I got the result of the biopsy from the kidney and the kidney was going bad and stuff anyway. So it's a huge I mean, it is what it is. They don't tell you that between 20 and 40% of people don't survive transplant the first time around. There's a lot of people I found that is on their second kidney, some people on their third kidney, and it was just something wasn't my time to keep that kidney, which I've been working hard. I'm back on the list because of my situation being having the kidney for 4 months. This is crazy. I had the kidney for 4 months. I had to start all my time back over from James that I had because I had the kidney for 4 months instead of 3 months. And I didn't really
Wait a minute.
understand.
So they made you start back over on the list?
Yeah. I had to start my time back over from,
What?
from September. No, from,
Oh my God.
let me get it right now because I want to make sure I got it right because it's been a while. They started my time from January 9th, 2017 when I lost the kidney. They started my time back to there. So I had to redo my 5 years. I'm on year, this will be year 4. So I'm back near the top of the list again. You know,
Oh,
what?
okay.
Yeah, I'm back near the top. But if I'd have lost the kidney in December instead of January, I wouldn't have lost my time and I would have been able to get another kidney quicker. But it took me about a year altogether just to heal from the whole situation totally. I mean, I healed like in 3 or 4 months, but totally healed from it, because I got like 42 staples on my right side of my tummy from it. And whenever it rains and stuff like that, like it's raining and cold now, it hurts. I could feel from the scar tissue from it. So they went where they took it out. If they gonna take it back out where they put it in there. If I could get another 42 staples, so I got staples twice. Because it's one time from putting it in, they had to take it out. So it was either me or the kidney. So I had to do that staple thing twice. So I get really sore there a lot in the winter time and cold weather. You know,
Mm-hmm.
whenever they
Mm-hmm.
touch you, you always gonna remember. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to this kidney thing. It's rough. I don't wish it on anybody, and I wish people would just do this stuff to prevent themselves. If you got high blood pressure, lose the weight. If you got diabetes, lose the weight. Whatever you need to do to get better, because when you start doing dialysis, it's basically a whole different world.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't, if you don't have discipline and the willingness to do the right thing with your body, dialysis is not for you because it teaches you this discipline.
Right.
Because you only, yeah, it teaches you discipline of anything.
So as we, about out of time now, but as we end this broadcast, what do you want people to know about um, the technicians and the shortage and just about dialysis in itself and where it came from when you first started and where it's at now?
Hmm, it's a good question. Well, as far as the technicians and the staff, I think a lot of them are working with what they got, and you're gonna have good ones, you're gonna have bad ones, like everything else in life. Um, being on dialysis is a rough job for anybody. You know, dialysis patients, we're a different breed, because we do this every day. It's a mental grind. So you gotta have compassion and caring because some of us, you know, we don't know what to do. Some of us don't know what to do because you've been living a certain way all your life and now you gotta do a different life. And a lot of times it's not out the blue, but it's out the blue. I don't know no other way. You get signs and you either pay attention to them or you don't. But the techs have a rough job. They're not getting paid a lot. The company's not paying them a lot. They're not offering them a lot. The top is making the money. They are in a very weird position, and have a little bit of compassion for them while they're trying to have compassion for you. But go find out who that head nurse regional manager is. Find out who is their boss. Talk to them. Advocate the for the techs and the nurses, the social workers, financial aid people there. Advocate for them. Talk about what's going on. Tell them that if your quality of care ain't right, complain. Be that butthole. Be that a-hole. I don't care how you want to be. Be the troublemaker. Talk. If you don't open your mouth and defend yourself with your care and ask questions, nobody else is going to do it. And that's my best advice for anybody that's dealing with being on doubt.
All right, Woody. Definitely appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule this Sunday and coming on World Kidney News.
Don't worry about it, man. I'm a Cowboy fan. I gave up on them, and I just figured I'd do this and play my music, and I I just want people to get. I just want to get people to understand this because there's a lot of misconceptions about this. Like you see people and you think they're on a dialysis, oh, they're okay. They faking. They ain't no fake. They ain't no faking. And people that know me, they ain't no joke. They ain't no fake. It's days, man. Now, I like to go. Now, I'm busy. I've always been a grinder, but some days, man, I can't do nothing after treatment. It just works on your body from the inside out. And by the time you know there's something wrong with your body, I'm no doctor or nothing like that, but I think 7 out of 10 times it's too late. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't get on top of it before, because like the latest thing, that I'm dealing with. That slowly but surely, I'm getting blindness in my right eye because of the diabetes. It's just over the years, been to the eye doctor and this, that, but diabetes, even if you're on treatment, it still works on your body. It works on your nerves. It works on the inside, like a, it's just like a parasite that eats you up from the inside. That's the
Mm-hmm.
best way I can describe it. I've been a diabetic, and I got the weight control. I've been a diabetic since '91. Yeah,
Mm.
'91. My grandma was diabetic. The runs on my dad's side. So I mean, it's not like I could get away from it, but you guys do the stuff to fight it off. And it's a fight. It's an everyday battle. It's
Right.
like Ice Cube say, the day is a good day. I have some of them, and I have a lot of rough ones.
Mm-hmm.
You
All
know,
right, man. Well, definitely appreciate you coming on the show. Let's bring you back in the future, man, and see how things going and if anything happened with the movement of technicians and nurses in the facility.
right? Hey, man, Steve, I thank you for putting the word out there, making more people aware. Because you're building a nice little army. I got quite a few friends through you, and just the fight in the cause. And anybody, I'm on Facebook. Um, you can always, I gave my email address, it's chefwood72@gmail.com. Anytime you got questions or answers, I'm not no doctor, but I think I have a good knowledge because I live it every day. Questions and concerns, anything, vent. You need to just fuss because you just tired of doing it. I'm here. I'm here. So we're a community of warriors, and I fight for every one of them, all 31 million. Every time I put my hands on the turntables and play a song, bro, I fight for them. Every last one of them. When I can
Mm-hmm.
get up and have a good day and get in the mix and drop a mix joint, I do it for 31 million people that go through what I go through every 3 times a week, every day, 50 times, 52 weeks, like the mail. We run more than the mail, We, there ain't no stopping, no days off. So,
All right.
all
All
right, my
right,
friend.
man. We're going to close it down. I appreciate you again, Woody. Definitely talk to you soon.
No problem, man. Much love to you, bro.
All right. Much love. Take care.
You too. Have a
All
good
right. Bye
night.
bye. So, guys, this was an awesome show. But like I said, before we close out, would you want to deal with a company with these type of news articles? Defeated dialysis manager harassed female workers, hid camera in restroom, yet owners did nothing. Or what about this? 39 DeVita employees suing for unpaid wages. I mean, that's why we say you got to be an advocate of your own health care. You can't leave it in the hands of unskilled, uncompassionate workers, right? You got to know. And how you going to know, you may ask? Just tune in on the Urban Health Outreach Media. You tell us what you want to know about. If you want to know about the machine, if you want to know about your access, if you want to know about what's going on in the clinic, if you want to know about the medication, you want to know about the procedure, just ask